Okay, so let's go into the steps. Step one.
Step one, show the child that you are ultimately the caregiver and in control of the items and the activities in the environment that they would want to have access to, play with, hold on to. So as a parent, you have the right to bring anything you want into the environment. You can decide if they can bring a gun into the house or not. You can decide if they can have access to video games or Fortnite or whatever. So as that caregiver, you decide what comes into the environment. You also have to show the child that you ultimately get to control what they can get those things for and what they can't, how they can gain them, how they can lose them, how long they can have them. And step one just forces a parent to consider, how would I control this environmental, how control this reinforcer if it's needed to be? How do I give it? How do I control it? And how do I show the child that I can do those two things as needed? That's step one. Step two.
What would you say? Sorry, just a quick question. What would you say to parents who, now their kids have full access to everything? Is it then the parents coming in, starting to lock things up? Like, is it a gradual step towards that?
I think anything we do, it all depends. The best path forward is the one that makes the most sense for that family in that situation. In some cases, it's best to just wipe the slate clean and say, okay, we need to start taking these items out of this room and being able to bring them into the room as they're developing that. Really, what happens is, what it generally looks like is there's toys all over the home. There's toys all over the floor. And when the family asks the child, hey, come on over here and have something to eat, the child says no, and then they go off and play. And then the family starts to get upset and they start to yell and they start to grab the child and pull him to the table. And then the child pulls away. And so now you've got this pull game. But the reason the child's pulling away is because he's pulling back towards something he thinks is going to be better. Mm-hmm. And so by taking control over those items and just cleaning up the house, putting them into bins or putting them into rooms where if you needed to, you could close the door or put it up on a shelf where the child can't reach it. Then when you say, hey, I need you to sit down, and the child says, I don't really want to, you can say, okay, you don't have to. It's your choice. But you can't go off and play. You can't go off and have whatever you want. Like if I went to work and I said, you know what, I'm just not going to work today, they're not going to keep paying me for that job. But I know our kids aren't at work, but they are learning. Their job is to learn how to live in society in a way that's successful for them. So I think what we're trying to do with step one is show the child that we ultimately do get to control, as their caregivers, their access to the reinforcement, and that the family needs to focus on making sure that they can do that when they need to. They can give it when they need to, and they can withhold it when they need to, so that we can make sure we use those things as reinforcement for the behavior we want to see more of, but we can also use it as part of extinction when we have a behavior that we don't want to see happening more, that isn't beneficial to that child long term.
You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.